They make tons of different ones, like bacon flavored. They can really
Have you
change.
seen bacon flavored bitters?
I have.
We're gonna do a whole episode on bacon flavored bitters, and it's just gonna be us drinking bitters straight from a bottle. Welcome back to Arsenic Culture, where beer don't count, but bad decisions do. I'm Matt.
I'm Jason.
My name's Jeff.
We're broadcasting from the beautiful Bourbon House in Lexington, Kentucky. That's H-O-U-S. This is an Airbnb you can rent, and this place is fucking amazing.
It is awesome.
If you're listening and not watching, you can check us out on YouTube at Arsenic Culture. But we are behind the bar at the Bourbon House right now. You can see all the LEDs behind me, and they got some. All their liquor bottles are half empty. They got GoldenEye, Nintendo 64. That's pretty fucking badass.
I'm ready for that.
Yeah, but the owner here let us record here, and this place is absolutely amazing. And just letting you know, you can rent this place. The website is partyhouse.com. It's spelled H-O-U-S. partyhous.com. You gotta check them out. These places are awesome. And our friends at Never Say Die also left us a bottle of rye to try and drink while we're on air. We do drink a little bit, so we're really looking forward to this. And thank you guys. We appreciate it. We're actually going to be putting this in a cocktail we're going to be making later. But before we get started, I have a question for you gentlemen.
I got the answer.
You just made the most god-awful liquor in existence.
Malort.
What's in it?
It's Malort. It's just Malort. Yeah.
That kind of is we were just looking, we got a Malort bottle back here too. It's unopened. I can't believe you all have not opened this bottle yet. Like this should be like, honestly, this should be like all the way down here. You get a bunch of dudes in an Airbnb, then like, I feel like challenges.
The problem is though, once one person tries it, the rest of them aren't going to try it.
Yeah, but then that person has to make everybody else try it. That's the way it goes.
You got to hold your face, don't throw up.
Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to go. Yeah, so Malort is actually a really good example.
Botanicals, I think of beer like Gruit. You know, remember that style?
Yeah. So
Gruit, whatever.
That was the beer before hops were a thing. Yep. And then they would just use like roots,
whatever they found, essentially.
Bark, yeah, like herbs and spices and trees and nuts and everything like that.
It is. Sounds like Mama Juana almost. You know, all
that
stuff
yeah. Not marijuana, Mama Juana, which is a drink in the Caribbean, like a
DR,
drink. Yeah. But that's basically what Amaro is.
Okay.
So today,
that's our episode.
Yeah, I want to do a deep dive into Amaro because it is making a resurgence. It's really cool what you can do with it. It's very versatile, but by itself, it's kind of gross because it's just made with a bunch of shit.
So is it like a digestif? I know a little. I did a little research.
It is, yeah. So it's typically considered digestif, as in after dinner drink to kind of help like all your food digest and stuff like that. But what
it's
I
like
thought
a roto-rooter, it just kind of cleans you out.
It just kind of like just cleans the plumbing. That's what.
Pretty sure you get that before a colonoscopy. I think that's
yeah. They actually give you Amaro. Yeah, just give you a shot and then
send you a bottle of Malort. Say good luck. You know,
and it's ready to go.
We'll see you in 2 days.
Yeah. But Amaro is actually historically Italian, and there's reasons for that. But it's been making a resurgence since like the 2010s. And it's getting popular with like in like these really kind of esoteric bars and like high-end places as a good mixer. But what people are discovering is that it's very regional. Like it very much reflects the terroir of where it's made. So traditionally it's in Italy, so most of Amaro is going to have an Italian kind of influence. Well, some other brands are starting to realize, hey, we got some pretty cool terroir where we're at in wherever fucking country they are, and they're like, let's try our hand at this and making some cool shit. So
like wine, it makes you think of that, the region, right?
Pretty much, yeah, exactly. So we got a
pretty
few
much
brands
exactly.
here.
I like that, man. It's really good.
It's exactly right, but not quite.
You know, I looked up some of the Amaro. So correct me if I'm wrong, but it was hard to find a few things. So Fernet, is that actually an Amaro?
That is considered an Amaro.
I feel like that's what it was.
And I believe the plural is Amari.
Okay.
There's a whole
There's an
lexicon.
I. There's an I on there.
Yeah, it's Amari. Yeah, if there's more than one Amaro, it's Amari.
I'm not great with pronunciations if you haven't noticed that.
Yeah. Jaeger, I think
it's on the border. It's like kinda, maybe, and then Malort.
I think that's just considered bullshit. I fucking hate Jaeger.
Yeah. I always grew up thinking it was deer blood. There was deer blood in it. People told me that. I guess to keep you from drinking.
Scary from drinking.
Yeah. It makes you fucking invincible.
That's all I got. But I know, like, you go to like bars. Like we were at a Ethereal, the Void. They were doing shots of Fernet over there. You know,
Yeah.
you go to bars like in Chicago, you got Malort, some have Fernet.
Fernet's big in Chicago too, which I thought was weird.
Malort too, though. That's huge up there.
Well, yeah, Malort. Well, they're made in Chicago, right?
Jepson's.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
It's funny that Malort's kind of getting popular because I remember when we first discovered it, we were like, this is fucking never going to take
Awful.
off.
It was just in Chicago. Now, though, I feel like it's more of a
What's like a novelty?
hipster bar kind of thing, for lack of a better term. Like little bars popping up. You know, the craft cocktails for $48 a piece.
Yeah.
They like those.
Could you imagine paying $48 and they hand you some fucking shit with Malort in it?
Malort
and
with
you're like,
smoke coming out.
Yeah. Well, quick background on the basics of it. Again, it's an Italian herbal liqueur. It ranges anywhere from 16% to 40%. That's a huge range.
That is.
But it's very bittersweet. Amaro actually means bitter in Italian. I think this is all according to the internet, so nobody fucking hold me to a fire here. But historically, it was actually considered medicinal. It was originally created in monasteries and apothecaries, but that kind of goes back to its roots as being a digestif.
Right.
And it was kind of seen as like curing ailments that were related to the stomach.
Well, I mean, you think about like Underberg, right? So
Right.
I'm a believer in that. Have you had much of that, Drew?
Buddy,
You tried
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
I mean, you get to that point if you're out with your friends, you've been at weekend bender, whatever, you're drinking, eating bad food, and it's like, I cannot consume anything else. Like I can't even drink water at this point.
Dude,
you drink some Underberg. About 30 minutes later, I'm good to go. You know, let's go.
That was like when we were at the Zool Beer
100%.
Fest. And I had acid reflux so bad that I had to keep taking little sips of water to keep myself from throwing up. Because it was just like gastric juices. I could feel it burning, and I was like, sip of
Then
water.
I
sip of
talked
water.
you into some Underberg.
Yeah, and then we took some Underberg, and I was like, ready to go for round 2.
Well, that's what's crazy too, is that you can mix all of those things together and then add something that actually has more alcohol in it.
I know.
Yeah.
And it fixes you
It's
right
almost
up.
counterintuitive, but
It works.
yeah. So the base is typically a neutral spirit. It can be wine or brandy or pretty much any neutral spirit. Maybe sweetened with a little bit of sugar. It is an aged product typically, but then that's where like the terroir and then the secret recipes come in. Each brand has their own recipe of like macerated herbs and roots and I almost said vegetables, like flowers, bark, citrus peels. Like just fucking like walk through the woods hippie style, and just grab
Scavenger.
shit. Yeah. And most places their recipe is pretty much a close guarded secret.
That's what I could find too.
Yeah, but they'll give you kind of like an idea of what they put into it.
You know, I looked something up too, like looking at the origin of it. It actually went back a little bit to Roman times. Did you see anything with that on there?
What did you see?
Well, it was sparse, but what I saw was it's like the wealthy and powerful in Rome would drink herb-infused wines for medicinal purposes.
Okay.
So it really wasn't Amaro, I guess, but it was like the precursor to it.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what they're saying, going to that in the
It's
monasteries.
the same with like root and beer, I guess.
Same thing.
Before you
Same
add
thing.
certain ingredients or whatever. But Italians historically had always valued the practice of the apertif and the digestif. So Amaro really just kind of just fit perfectly in that category for them, and that's why they embraced it early on before anyone else. It's so bitter that really nobody else wanted it.
I remember this from middle school because I had to take Latin in 6th grade.
That's the last thing I remember is middle
Right.
school.
Didn't Romans traditionally lay down when they ate? Didn't they like recline?
I mean, you look in my mind, like thinking of paintings or something. They were always didn't they have like those big leaves? The Greeks, I guess, right? Like,
I know they had the vomitorium,
Right.
which
Well-
I always thought was fascinating.
I don't remember that.
I think
one.
we need to bring back the vomitorium.
We
You know what the
should.
vomitorium is?
No.
It's like,
Well, they had bathhouses, right? Wasn't that them?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was, you can go to the bathhouse.
good.
You
I'm
tell
out.
me
I'm
how
out.
you
I'm out.
tell me how
I'm
that
out.
is. But, and I just interrupted you, I'm sorry. But like, you would go to a feast
Mm-hmm.
and you would eat so much that you couldn't eat another bite. You go to the vomitorium.
All they needed was Underberg, but they didn't have it.
They didn't have it. So you go to the vomitorium, fucking induce vomiting, and then just puke everything up, and you go back and you keep eating and drinking. That's the
Gluttonous.
vomitorium. Yeah.
Well, but maybe if I recall, they reclined when they would eat.
Okay, that's
To let it
bad.
all kinda, like,
That's
settle?
bad.
Right, so maybe they
Yeah.
had to make something to help them digest their
Makes
food
sense.
so they wouldn't have reflux.
That does
I guess they're
make sense.
bulimic too. If they're doing that right. I mean, that's
Yeah.
maybe that's where it came from.
Yeah, exactly.
Skinned up
So
knuckles.
yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
open a bar. We're gonna call it the vomitorium. Just whole room where you can
I'm,
go.
not, I'm not great at marketing. I'm not
Yeah,
sure that
nothing
would work.
but, like
Matt.
really
I
skinny
don't know.
chicks. Yeah.
Smells like vomit when you walk in. That stuff you used in middle school
What
to
is that?
clean it
Oh,
up.
yeah, it smells like home.
It's all
New Orleans.
those-
Yeah, New Orleans. Yeah, that's place is disgusting. So anyways, it started gaining popularity outside of Italy during the 2000s during the craft cocktail renaissance, quote unquote, where, different, like getting real creative with cocktails become a thing. And again, bartenders loved using it because it adds a lot of depth and nuance and some different characteristics to different cocktails. Non-Italian brands started coming out around the 2010s. So
now, what are the ones you have there? Are
we
they all Italian?
So this is Aperol right here. You know what Aperol is, Drew. This is kind of like a classic one. It's a little bit more on the bitter side.
Spritz.
Exactly. Yeah, this is a classic cocktail.
It's in a paper plane too, isn't it?
It is in the paper plane. Right. It's weird. The paper plane is made with Aperol and another Amaro, like of your choice, which is kind of strange. But so Aperol is kind of like the staple Amaro. This one right here is called Song Sai Mai. I think that's how you pronounce
Japanese?
it. This is Vietnamese. And it's embarrassing because I'm Vietnamese and I can't read any of this shit.
Yeah. It's pretty label though.
Yeah. I tried to get my mom, because I'm Vietnamese on her side. I tried to get her to like translate it for me, but she's working. I couldn't nail her down. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll figure it out. We'll do it. We'll do it live. So Song Sai Mai is a Vietnamese Amaro produced with the terroir from Vietnam. It is produced in Hanoi. It's collaborated with a Red Dao medicine woman named Li Lo Mai.
That's going to be
The Red Dao are renowned for their expertise in medicinal botany. So that kind of...
I will say one thing about the bottles of those three. They're very nice. Like they're nice bottles.
It is. There's like a
Looks good on
presentation.
shelf, right?
Yeah. I was kind of surprised that both of these newer ones, they have wax. Yeah, they got wax on them, which you don't see wax a lot on cocktail or on liquor bottles.
No. Wine. It's wine. I mean, essentially
beer.
what you look at. Beer.
Yeah. They're fucking sluts for wax.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. They wax them, but it is a very artisanal product. So
what was the third one? I'm sorry, I cut you off before you told us.
Hold on. So then this Vietnamese one, it's based on a tincture called the Dia-Tu, which is used to treat muscle aches and digestive issues. There's a bunch of shit like whorehound maybe?
Whorehound candy?
Whorehound? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it might be that one.
I think my autocorrect is telling me something.
We're not in the house of ill repute, I swear.
I think that's whorehound. Angelica root, dandelion, poppy, fig. And sweetened with honey from the black dwarf honeybee, which is the smallest honeybee in existence, and they produce the least amount of honey from their hives, which I thought was kind of cool. And they're only found in Southeast Asia, so sounds super rare.
It's not the honey you get off the sides of the cliffs that makes you hallucinate. Ain't that honey, right? You heard of that?
Yeah, that's actually called weed honey. And I got a guy that can get you some if you need some. So.
Is that Jeff? Jeff.
But this one is 20% alcohol. And then this other one is Scarlet Apertivo bitter liqueur. This one is Japanese, produced in Sagamihara, Japan. And this is based on the traditional Italian red bitters of the 1970s, which is what Aperol is. Do you know what makes it red, Jason?
No.
Cochineal dye.
Because you look at both, I think this is red too, but it's like a red wine.
It is much darker red.
Yeah,
very dark.
I'm gonna say this is not natural color.
I don't think that's natural. I think it might be. So cochineal dye is actually kind of morbid. This is made with insects.
I've heard about this.
Yeah, so it's the cochineal insect. It's like this tiny little like grain of rice sized bug, and it like lives and feeds off of cacti. They take it, they harvest them off the cacti, they murder them with either like oppressive heat or sunlight.
Or tiny guillotines.
Yeah, they basically, it's just like a mass murder of little bugs, and then they just smush them into a paste. And there's a dye in them that turns things red. It takes approximately 70,000 insects to produce 1 pound of cochineal dye.
We're just getting one of those like what do you call them? The little bowls, like granite bowls, and you move
mortar
around.
and pestle.
Yeah, just get one of those.
Pestle, yeah, I was thinking fucking go to Crayola and just like where do you get your red from?
Or just get some red dye. Just get red dye's not bad for you, I don't think.
Like that's cool that somebody thought it actually goes back like hundreds of years, but I mean. At some point during history, you got to be like, there's easier ways to...
Got to be an easier way. Got to be an easier way,
than to just murder, mass extinction of, like, a whole species of animal.
They've got that automated by now. We're good.
I'd hope so. I'd say so. So, but this one has got lemon balm, golden berry sprouts, sage, licorice, cinnamon. This has got a bunch of cool stuff. Yeah, that's the Scarlet one. Yeah, sorry. And this one is 28%.
Okay, so we got 20, 28, and then what's the Aperol?
Aperol is just kind of your basic...
I mean, what's 40%?
Shit. 40, that one's 40.
Does it say 40?
It's 80 proof.
Yeah, it's
40%
40%
alcohol. Oh,
yeah.
okay. Oh, the website
Damn.
said 20, so that's a
Well, there might be different versions.
yeah.
That
that's
is
crazy.
a lot.
Well, their website was it was pretty, but there was
Honestly,
very sparse
looking this
information.
up,
Is Aperol 15, 18, right?
It's 11%. Aperol's pretty.
But looking this up, though, all the websites I went to, even like the food and wine magazines, it's kind of iffy. Like there's a lot, all the history is just kind of like it's like bourbon history. If you look back at bourbon history, it's all tall tales, essentially.
Right. Yeah. Well, it goes back far, but there's not a whole lot of like lineage. It's just historically, it's got a lot of presence, but it just doesn't. There's not a lot of recorded.
Well, it
history,
shows you
know?
that the recipes are definitely kept secret, right? Because they're not saying it comes from this, this, and this. It's just like a bunch of shit. You know?
So what I'd like to do is let's do a little taste test,
Yeah.
and we'll see what they're like, and I like to compare them, and then I want to do a little cocktail,
I like this.
and we're gonna mix it up.
All right, the smells actually really good. And this is a strong one too, 40% alcohol.
So Aperol, this is kind of like the base, and this one's really weak. This is almost like a slightly bittersweet syrup. Aperol is.
Honestly,
What's yours?
it's kind of Scotch. I get
Okay,
like,
like peaty.
like peaty.
So you got
Yeah.
the Song Sai Mai. That's the
And I
Vietnamese
don't like
one.
Scotch, but this one's like
So the Vietnamese one is.
this one's okay.
What do you think of the Scarlet, the Japanese one?
It smells more bitter on the nose to me. When it's sweet, which I like because bitter is kind
That
of
one's definitely bitter. But there's depth, a lot of depth.
Yeah.
Also 40% alcohol.
right.
Yeah. So that's Scarlet. That's actually really deep too. The Japanese one.
I could drink that just by itself.
Yeah, that's actually not bad. See, I thought these were going to be a lot more bitter than they are.
This one's nothing like that. Definitely.
No,
you
see,
can tell like mass produced.
The Aperol
You know what
is
I mean?
the Aperol is very
Yeah.
approachable, but again, it's 11%
It's got some kick,
alcohol.
don't it?
Yeah. We get almost like some leather kind of on the backside
yeah.
of that.
Like the Vietnamese one, the Song Sai Mai, it's peaty on the nose. That's very smoky.
That's the one you have right
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
What's this one? This is the Scarlet
That's
one?
the Scarlet. That's the Japanese.
All of them have completely different nose.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Which one did you say was smoky?
This one right here. that you
Yes,
just
very
had, yeah.
smoky and like leathery.
Yeah, that's like Scotch to me. Like it's peaty.
Oh God, yeah. That is night and day, like difference in like texture and flavor profile.
So cost wise, so what's Aperol? Probably $20.
20, 25, something like that.
What are the other two?
The Aperol was like 20, 25. The Vietnamese one, Song Sai Mai, was around like 40, 45. And the Scarlet was right around there too, 45, 50, something like that. So
You can definitely tell the difference though, like between these two, the depth and the characters in there than this one, right? I mean, 100%.
yeah, the
It's not even
stronger ones
close.
definitely have, I feel like they have a lot more appeal. But again, the Aperol is more just kind of like approachable.
Yeah. You guys remember drinking orange Triaminic when you were kids?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
Aperol.
That's this
Yeah.
right here.
That's Aperol,
Yeah, 100%.
yeah, it is. It's, the bitterness is kind of, that's the fucking feel-good medicine in there, which is alcohol and Triaminic.
That I just drank all the time. No, I wasn't sick.
It's just like, just like
Mom's
shot
like, why do we go through so much Triaminic?
Don't know. I'd always go to the doctor when I get that the pink amoxicillin, dude. That stuff
Yeah.
was awesome.
Bubblegum, yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Not that I had that. I'm probably why the community or the country's the way it is today.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
So we took a brief respite, and what we're going to try now is we've tried them by themselves. We were able to kind of pick them apart. I mean, they're super different, so it wasn't hard. And now we're going to try them in the same cocktail. We're doing a Black Manhattan, and we're going to kind of see how they work together with other cocktails when you're mixing them together.
So what goes into the Black Manhattan?
So the Black Manhattan is a rye whiskey, which we're using our friend's whiskey from Never Say Die right here, which is 2 shots of that, 1 shot of their respective Amaro, and then a dash of orange bitters and a dash of Angostura. And I brought back our $52 fucking
Yes.
bottle of 200th anniversary Angostura.
There you
I thought
go.
that'd be good
Oh, yeah,
it's
100%.
a very subtle Angostura, so I thought that would actually
Had some
help.
good
kinda
depth,
showcase.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, Jason, which one do you want?
I'm going to start with the Scarlet. I think I like it better.
Okay, you're gonna get that one. I guess we just
That smells good.
yeah. The Aperol one is really good, and it tastes like Aperol.
Really?
This is strong. Like it's really strong.
Which one do you have? You have the Vietnamese.
I have the Scarlet one.
You have the Japanese. You say the Japanese one is strong. The Aperol is actually very palatable. That's the Italian one. It's very approachable. It's 11%, so that really just kind of acts like almost like a base mixer.
Yeah, this Vietnamese one it retains a lot of that smokiness, a lot of that leather that I was picking up just from So I mean, it's good, but it's almost like if you were to have a smoked bourbon cocktail at a bar,
yeah,
and then you smoke the smoke, inhale it, and
smoke the smoke.
Yeah.
I feel like this one can work. I'd like to have that one there.
Japanese.
I think with like what's those Luxardo cherries? Like throw a Luxardo cherry in
So
that.
that's actually supposed to go in this, but I didn't want to spend the time doing that.
I mean, we can't even get it right, Matt. Come on, shit.
I'm going to spend $15 worth of cherries on you.
I had some at home.
Yokels.
I wouldn't share them, but
this Vietnamese one is still really smoky. So I'm not saying that in a bad way. Like we talk about Scotch a little. We haven't really dove into it. And that's something we need to do. It's underappreciated by us. But I actually do enjoy a really good smoked cocktail. And it's kind of like what you were saying, Drew. This reminds me of that when you smoke the smoke.
So if I go to OBC kitchen, I'll get that the smoked old fashioned or whatever. I like that, but
really good.
I don't like Scotch. Now, there are Scotches that aren't peaty, aren't smoky. Right. I just don't know enough about them. We need to find somebody that does have them on and let them
we'll
educate
do a show
us.
on that one. That one, that Vietnamese one, I like that. It's got a little bite on the end. Like it's a little like
it really does.
Hell, it's 40% alcohol.
Yeah. Well, it's
Plus
like
what's the rye? Is it 100 proof?
The Never Say Die is, I believe it's 52%. So it's 104. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that Scarlet might be my favorite. The Japanese.
Yeah,
that is really good. It just adds like a depth to it.
This one's just a little too much smoke for me coming through. Yeah. But I don't love that flavor.
That's cool.
It's still good.
I wasn't expecting them to actually be so different. I thought we were going to have to kind of pick them apart. But I mean, they're like, it's 3 completely different cocktails.
100%. Yeah, this is like entry level, I would think.
Which
like,
one?
the Aperol.
Oh,
yeah, the Aperol is kind of like entry level.
I didn't do anything.
That I think the Vietnamese one is. It's, I don't know, you have to appreciate smoke and leather and that really kind of bite and that harshness. That Scarlet, though, I think is right in the middle, and it kind of hits the spot for me.
I agree. I think that Scarlet is like, out of the 3, it's the fucking Goldilocks.
100%.
That's the Goldilocks zone right there.
Those two to be the same flavor. I mean, or same price. Sorry, the Scarlet definitely far and away.
I think there's a place for all of them. That's the thing. And that's what's so great about it is that it's just, no matter what you're in the mood for, you can find something.
What other kind of drinks do they put Amaro in?
The paper plane, the Aperol spritz, like we were talking about. What else is there?
I don't know. I'm just trying to think
There's a shitload of like.
I'm trying to think of another way where you could incorporate something that's that smoky and kind of has that.
Oh, right.
And just see if that could almost tame it, but still,
Yeah, I think that's the fun of it. Is that Amaro? It's so like unique.
It's kind of limitless, really. Yeah.
You could create cocktails based on on that flavor profile of the Amaro.
You could also change your bitters. I mean, they make tons of different ones, like bacon flavored or orange flavored. I mean, they can really change.
Have you seen bacon flavored bitters?
I have.
Why the fuck don't we have this on the table right now?
They got them. I don't know.
That would be an interesting flavor with that.
I'll text my boy.
Wait, have you had bacon flavored bitters?
I have. My buddy Drew, he in Georgia, he's actually got some.
Okay.
I'll hit him up.
We're going to do a whole episode on bacon flavored bitters, and it's just going to be us drinking bitters straight from a bottle.
With bacon.
Just like
tons
put it
of
on
bacon.
and then just eat the bacon, and then drink the bacon bitters.
Yeah.
That's a lot of bees.
That's a lot of bees.
Yeah.
We do some like bourbon bitter bacon.
We're going over there to OBC. We're getting that
barbecue sauce.
Getting that bacon they got, and then we're going to drink all these bitters.
Oh my God. I can throw all kinds of bees.
We'll go to the vomitarium.
We'll unload, and then we'll just keep doing more bitter bacon.
Give me more bacon. More bacon.
That's
so honestly, to me though, like looking at is it worth it or not, if you look at all these, each is unique. I would pass on this one. I'm not a fan of smoke.
The Vietnamese
one, I appreciate it. But I would definitely pay for the Scarlet or the Aperol. I'd honestly just go for the Scarlet and go that way. And he said that one's from Japan?
That's Japanese.
That's really good.
Yeah, what do you think?
Really damn good.
Man, that Scarlet, I mean, I was not expecting it to be as sweet as it was.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like a gross sweet. It's a very nice
layered.
sweet.
It's layered, yeah.
It's a very nice sweet. I was very surprised considering I don't typically care for bitter things.
Yeah.
The same thing with the Aperol. I always thought that Aperol was really kind of bitter. I've never drank it straight. I've had my wife drinks
I'm the same
Aperol spritzes all the time, and I like paper planes.
Yeah.
But I thought that Scarlet was fantastic, and I'll probably be buying a bottle.
I agree.
Of it.
Yeah. Oh, I had to buy these from New York, so
Get them shipped down.
yeah. you can do that if you want.
When Michelle goes to New York, pretty
or
soon
you can just come over to my house.
We just combine shipping though. What about you, Matt? You think they're worth it?
The Aperol obviously is a classic. It should be on everybody's shelf. I can't say I don't like the Vietnamese one because it's my fucking heritage. But honestly, I do like it.
I appreciate it. It's just not my thing.
There is a place for it, and I actually like that. I find myself trying to smoke cocktails occasionally. And you remember way back, somebody gave us a cocktail smoker, and we did it on the show. And cool. At the time, I probably need to revisit it. I was kind of like, this is a novelty. I can't see anybody using this. I've actually used it a few times since then. Yeah, and it's fun, and I like it, and it adds another dimension.
My in-laws got me one for Christmas.
Yeah.
With like 3 or 4 different kinds of
That's pretty cool.
Like
wood.
The
Yeah.
The Vietnamese one actually reminds me of doing something like that. So I think there's a place for it. I would be glad to have all of them. And then some new ones.
Try it out.
The best part is that there's so many different nuances depending on the terroir where you get it from. So where I got these from, the website I read, there's actually a Punch article talking about this. There's another one from Mexico that's apparently pretty good. It's just like all these countries are coming out with them. So I mean, I think they're all worth
trying.
it. I think they're all worth it.
I think it's hard to really just give a final verdict though, since we don't have any fucking Luxardo cherries because somebody cheaped out on it.
Well. What is...
Not name any names, Matt.
Because I didn't do my research, because my name's Jeff.
You can borrow some of mine. It ain't gonna get...
What, is there a certain underlying commonality in the Amaros or the Aperols that makes them all fit into that same family? Is there like a certain ingredient?
Not a certain ingredient, but basically an amalgam of earthy ingredients. So there's the neutral spirit base, and then it's like fucking... have at it with the natural shit.
Yeah.
But it's like barks, flowers, roots, shit like that. I mean, if you wanted to put like kerosene in one, I probably wouldn't consider it an Amaro. You know what I mean? Like, it's got to be natural. Not
natural gas.
Natural gas probably wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Well, that's fascinating to me, just that basically witch doctors or essentially sort of came up with these things and they just like, oh, well, this didn't work, so let's try this other root or this other flower or whatever it was until they found the sweet spot.
It's like a home remedy that didn't work as intended, but it actually worked.
But it got you drunk.
I mean? Yeah.
So,
but actually probably helped your digestion too.
Yeah. But if it gets you drunk, there's a use.
And beers don't count.
Yeah, beer don't count. That's awesome. This stuff's great. I think everybody should
Thanks
try
for sharing, dude.
Thanks for tuning in. If you liked what you listened to or watched, please share it. If you don't, then just keep drinking until you do. Follow us at Arsenic Culture, and we will see you on the next one.